Billions of dollars in Russian money lie frozen across the West, from Europe to the US, untouched since Moscow invaded Ukraine in 2022. These assets, held in euros, dollars, pounds, and major government bonds, have become more than just money. They are now a geopolitical weapon.
We need to work urgently on a new solution to finance Ukraine's war response and effort on the basis of the immobilized Russian assets. With the cash balances associated to these Russian assets, we can provide Ukraine with a reparations loan. The assets themselves will not be touched, and the risk will have to be carried collectively. Ukraine will only pay back the loan once Russia pays for the reparations.
The European Union is now considering a bold move, using these frozen funds to create a reparation loan for Ukraine. The loan, backed by zero-coupon European Commission bonds, would only be repaid once Moscow compensates Ukraine for the war's destruction.
Sanctions have deprived Russia tens of billions of euros to fund its war, and sanctions work. Given the devastation that Russia is causing in Ukraine and has caused in Ukraine so far, it is unthinkable that Russia will ever see this money again unless it fully compensates Ukraine the damages caused.
To avoid roadblocks from EU members with close ties to Russia, like Hungary, Brussels may push the plan forward through a coalition of the willing, a smaller group of nations taking the lead. Interest from these frozen assets currently funds a $50 billion loan to Kyiv, but returns are falling. EUR27 billion in the first half of 2025, down from EUR 3.4 billion a year earlier, adding urgency to the EU's strategy. Handling the funds isn't without risk. Euroclear, which manages EUR 194 billion of Russian-sanctioned assets, warns that seizing the money could trigger lawsuits, financial disruption, and potential contagion across European markets. Russia has fired sharp warnings in response. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said any seizure would have global consequences, while state media noted that Western investments in Russia, worth $285 billion, could also be endangered.
The only thing that keeps them from taking the ultimate measure is the consequences. They see that we are responding. They are displeased, to put it mildly. They realize that the response will be extremely harsh. Brussels has decided to disguise itself by saying that they will not seize the assets themselves, but the income they bring in. To put it in simpler language, I would say that whatever fraudulent schemes the European Union invents, it does not change the essence of the matter. We are talking about an attempt to legitimize theft.
For the EU, this is a high-stakes gamble, turning frozen Russian wealth into a lifeline for Ukraine, while simultaneously ratcheting up sanctions pressure on Moscow. Putin calls it robbery, criticizing Western banks for freezing Russia's foreign exchange reserves.
Incidentally, we are all well aware that a significant amount of our Russian gold foreign exchange reserves are frozen in Western banks. It's no secret. There is constant talk that they are going to steal our money. If this happens, the movement towards regionalization of payment systems will accelerate and become irreversible. This would generally be good for the world economy. Perhaps it is worth paying for. By the way, I have a law degree, and I said, stealing our foreign reserves. Stealing implies some secrecy. This is open robbery.
The frozen assets now represent more than money. They have become a battlefield where finance meets geopolitics, and Europe is testing how far it can push Russia.